Do you like the following? 1. Comics. 2. Old school comics. B. Comics that don't really tie into anything of the current universe. 4. Standalone comics, just, you know, short story comics or short, you know, story arc comics. And 5. Do you like Hawkeye? If you like at least one of those things, then Hawkeye, what was it called? My Life as a Weapon Volume 1 is definitely the comic for you, and by God, it is such a comic. Now, as I was saying from the following, there's a lot of just like single story issues within this comic, and there's even just like a sort of a 2-issue story arc in it. So obviously that's pretty cool, and I think it's really good. It's good for those who are trying to delve into the world of comic books, and they don't have to worry about, you know, a current story arc that's happening in some other comic, or a crossover to this comic, or any of the other following. It's just good to sort of dive in, you know, and really kind of really enjoy like just a good simple story. And because of that simple story, you know, it's amazing. It just works really well for this comic. The other thing is that what I really love and what I absolutely adore is the artwork. The artwork is brilliant. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is old school artwork right here. None of this sort of, you know, detailed stuff, you know, getting the right figure, and, you know, make sure there's like every ounce of, you know, facial hair around the face, and, you know, every bit of detail to the costume. No, 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 no. This is really old school work, and what I like about it as well is, even though this is the Hawkeye sort of comic book, you know, obviously we know Hawkeye is Clint Burton, and if you don't know who Clint Burton is, he might have been that Archer guy from the Avengers film. So obviously this is really probably good for his reputation, but he's also one cool ass dude. Don't really know much from his comic book lore, but what I can say is there is another Hawkeye, yes, another one, a female Hawkeye of the young variety, and she also bears the same name. But what's pretty good is they two have a good sort of relationship with one another. They two kind of respect each other, you know, Archer respecting an Archer, and obviously with their relationship is so good, you actually get to see quite a bit of how they respect one another through a wee kind of short comic that's in the back of this. It's called Young Avengers Presents Hawkeye, and it's really good, really interesting, and yeah, it's, you know, I actually thought it was pretty good and probably really necessary for this volume. And so with all that, do I really recommend this comic to people? Yes, I would. It is a really good comic, a really good read. It's very, very well priced as well, and one thing I will say that's really interesting is I've not read any other issues prior to it, but we could possibly see maybe more, might even get a comic that might even just feature more of the female Hawkeye rather than the male Hawkeye, but it will still kind of feel part with it. You know, if I mean, you know, it kind of still has the same sense of, you know, blah, 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 blah. But overall, I really, really do love this comic, and I think you should at least try it. You know, don't diss it until you've at least tried it.